This is King Noble, Black Supremacy. And in this video, I want to ask black activists, including Talib, Kweli, Malik, Zulu, Shabazz, and other activists that so-called mobilized to Ferguson. Why did you mobilize to Ferguson? Like, what was the real point to go? They said they was upset over the Mike Brown murder by the police department. And they went down there and basically submitted to the police department. They went down there to submit to the white supremacist police department of Ferguson. They went down there to lay on the ground and spread out on the ground and get maced and get shot with rubber bullets. How can you consider yourself to be about black power and about black nationalism and go down there and willingly subject yourself to the tyranny of white supremacy imperialism? And then you want us to be happy or to be proud of you for going down there as though you did something. You want to get more support from us for you going down there, getting punked out willingly. You willingly went down there and submitted to the forces of white supremacy. You didn't go down there really to fight. You didn't go down there for revolutionary warfare, because really the people wasn't really ready for that. The people wasn't ready for that. They just want to vent over the death of Mike Brown and really get that out their system and go back to good old white supremacy as usual. They call people who really wanted to see a revolution happen in Ferguson agitators, race baiters, and even agent provocateurs. So there was really no space in Ferguson for people who really wanted to make a revolution. So what did you go down there for? You went down there just for attention, to say I'm on the front line, but you don't want to say that you're bending over on the front line. You don't realize that the Jews that got gassed in the gas chambers in the Holocaust were on the front line. And they willingly went into those concentration camps on the front line. They did not put up a serious fight. They plunged into their own execution by Germans. And what were you willing to do in Ferguson? You didn't go down there to fight. You went down there to get arrested. And you want us to fucking be proud of you being arrested? You laying down the white supremacy? You going supporting the idea of holding my hands up, don't shoot? And you have a whole protest of people who are holding their hands up, looking like they didn't give up, looking like they're in submission, and you travel and spend your own bus fare, your own money, your own gas money to go down there and be a part of that? You don't understand what black power is. You don't understand what black nationalism is. Do you think that Obama and the regime of American imperialism will go to Israel and protest in the streets on either side of the Israelis or the Palestinians? Of course, we know it will be the Israelis. Would they do that? What type of government or organization are you all establishing? You either have the ability to create justice or you don't. You cannot put your freedom and your liberation in the hands of the enemy, and you should not even pretend like a second as that's what you're doing, and that's what it looked like to me. Who are you protesting to? Then many that are supposed to be so radical among us, so black power, black nationalism, going down there telling people not to loot, telling people not to protest after certain areas, working with the police department and the institutions. Malik, Zulu, Shabazz, he going down there working as a black militia for the forces of white supremacy in order to keep order in Ferguson and keep the people under white supremacy. He justifies it and said, hey, we're going to file a lawsuit to get money from the white man. Who gives a goddamn about money when our lives are being shed in the streets And we've yet to be able to fight back and stand up and fight for our own freedom and liberation and respect for people. Who cares about money no matter how much it is? What is the value of black life? You got these parents in the Trayvon Martin situation and in the Mike Brown situation. These parents are making concessions for monetary gain, selling their son's death for a price to get money. They being bought off. They don't want real vengeance. They don't want real revenge and justice, security and safety for our youth and our people. They want a check. And they're being manipulated and deceived, because we need a revolution in America. We don't need a few rich black people who got some lawsuits because of some negative shit that happened to them as individuals. We need a social revolution in the black community. We need an exchange of power from the institutions of white supremacy back into the hands of black people. But they have to want this for themselves. So why the hell did you go down to Ferguson? Why the fuck should we be proud that you went down to Ferguson to bend over and lay down? Why? I'm not proud about it at all. Not one bit. You got people who could have organized funding and resources. Somebody like Talib Kweli could have put some men together and organized an army or support black military power and force. Could have got some people together because he got followers and supporters. He has a radical music and radical message in a lot of his songs, brother Talib Kweli. And what does he do? He goes down there as like a damn protester and lay his ass on the ground. And we're supposed to respect that. Not in 2014. We also expect no black man or black woman laying down and subjecting themselves to white supremacy. Talking about, I'm on the front line. We don't support that. You got to man up and stand up. If you're not going to fight, then goddamn it, don't go. If you're not going to be militant and attack and strike and make your point heard, then don't even go. And if Ferguson is not ready for that, there's no need for us to be down there. There's no need for us to go. If Ferguson doesn't want that, you can't say all power to the people, but the power that the people want is monetary power, economic power, the power of compromise, the power of concession. You can't say power to the people and the people want something different. I'm not going down in Ferguson for my own good, for my own benefit. So what the hell am I going to go down there for? The people don't want that type of revolutionary change. People have done videos asking me, why didn't the black supremacists mobilize to Ferguson? King Noble, why didn't you mobilize to Ferguson? Nobody called for me to come. I was not invited to Ferguson. I don't go where I'm not invited. I learned that a long time ago. If people want that type of militant mobilization in their community to deal with the fucking pigs, to deal with these forces, then they will invite those who will do that. If not, as the sovereignty of their own, the politics of their own community, they have to solve their problems in a way to see fit. Otherwise, there'll be warfare between black on black crime. There'll be more black on black crime. There'll be a warfare between different groups based on what their agenda is. You don't hear me? Now we're infighting based on our groups, based on what our different agendas are. So I come down there with my agenda of overthrowing the system of white supremacy completely, and they have a just simple agenda of just some social reform within inside of their community. We clashing, now we don't even see who the enemy is, and now the black supremacists are fighting against other social activists within a situation and moment where we need to be focused on who our enemy is. So there's no need for us to mobilize to Ferguson unless our agenda is the same, unless Ferguson supports true black supremacy and black nationalism. If that's what they really want for their community and their society, then they will be willing to support that and call for that to happen. Otherwise, we'll be imposing our own agenda for what? We're not Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and Malik Zulu Shabazz and the rest of these clowns. We don't want any money out of this, no political position or esteem or fame or social influence. We don't want this out of that. We want true revolutionary change. And until the people as a whole want that, then our work will be incomplete And we'll waste a lot of energy fighting against our own people to bring about a revolution that is premature. Before they're ready for what we have to offer, there's going to have to be a hell of a lot more murders by the institutions of white supremacy in Ferguson, in Los Angeles, in Staten Island, in New York, where Eric Garner was killed. There's going to have to be a hell of a lot more murders before they see how wicked this enemy is and the need for true black nationalism, black sovereignty, black independence, black self-rule, and black self-government, black rulership. It's going to take a hell of a lot more Mike Browns and Eric Garners. A hell of a lot more. And then they'll say, we're at a point where we can accept and embrace and we're ready for revolutionary social change. And they won't look at people who speak as I do, people that speak as King Noble speak, as just radicals and extremists and race baiters and agitators. They won't see it that way because they'll know the enemy will have showed for sure who he is and what he's about and how he does not have our interests in hand. It's going to take up a hell of a lot more, unfortunately, for our people to wake up and see what time it is.